Let's get your cleaning questions answered about hardwood floors. We made a video the other day on how to clean hardwood floors with a steamer, not using steam, but using it as a regular mop. And we got lots of questions that came in, and I thought, wouldn't it be awesome if we just answer those questions? So let's do that. I'm Angela Brown, and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question, and I get to help you find an answer. The first question comes in from Wixom Fan. And they said, how long can you leave the microfiber cloths in the shoebox with water? Days, weeks? Now, if you did not watch the other show on how to clean your hardwood floors, I will leave links in that to the show notes and then also at the end of the video so that you can watch that as well. But what they're talking about is this shoebox that I use as a mop bucket charger. So I put the mop heads in here and then I pour some water in here and then I let it soak for up to 24 hours. So the night before when I'm doing my inventory is when I prep these buckets. So I would say up to 24 hours and probably no longer. We don't want water on our mop heads for days and weeks at a time because it might build up bacteria or they might start to stink or who knows what, right? So just when you're doing your inventory the night before. Now, when you come back from the job, you're gonna have dirty mop heads. So those either need to be soaked so that you can get them clean again, or you're gonna put them right inside the washing machine. When they come out of the washing machine, they're gonna be wet. So instead of drying them out and then putting them back in a charging station, you could put them right back in the charging station, grab your castile soap, put 1 drop in, add your water, and then go ahead and soak those for tomorrow's job. So if I have 2 houses to clean, I'll have 2 buckets. And I'll figure out how many pads I need for each of the homes. And I only wet the pads I'm going to use for that job. So I'm not having 1 bucket for lots of jobs. I have separate buckets for each job. That way, no cross-contamination. It's just easy. I don't have to count them out in my car. All right, next question. This is from Danis MK. Thank you, Danis MK, for the note. They said, hi, Angela. Thank you for this vid. So in essence, the microfiber mop head has some castile soap in it. Am I right? In other words, once placed inside the bin with water and diluted soap, these are not rinsed before mopping floors. Okay, that is correct. There's no rinsing whatsoever. When we have a mop bucket this size, we have 4 cups of water that we've added to this. Along with the water, we have 1 drop of castile soap. A group of cleaners in my Facebook group turned me on to this. And for as many years as I've been cleaning, I'd never used castile soap on floors. But 1 drop, it's like liquid gold. And I don't know why, but it shines your floors. It's not sudsy at all in the bucket. And if you watch the video, when we mix it up, there are no suds. We add the water first and then the soap, so there are no suds. And then when you mop the floor with it, it's not sudsy, it's not soapy, there's nothing to rinse. So you don't have to rinse out the pads before you mop, and you don't have to rinse the floor after you mop. All right, next question. This is from Melina 101. She says, your mop looks too short for you, so you're bending over too much. Well, thank you, Melina, for that. As it turns out, the mop is a personal preference. So everybody that uses a mop is either going to say, wow, that feels great, I love this mop, or they're going to say something just like that, that's too short, I don't like how much it makes me bend or whatever. It's called the ergonomics of cleaning. The reason I prefer this mop is because it's part of a steamer kit. And I might have to bend a little bit more, but it doesn't tweak out my back or my neck or any of those things. I do stretch before I go to work for the morning. And when I get home at night, I use a little mini trampoline so it unstretches me and it kind of gets me back in alignment. But I don't feel that it's too short for me. And I like having everything I need in just the 2 cleaning caddies. And so that would be my personal preference. It's less things to carry. It has multiple purposes. I can use it on hardwood and regular ceramic tile floors. It might be a tad too short, but there are taller mops, and I will leave links in the show notes. If you want a taller mop that gives you more leverage, or you can use it from a different angle. I prefer to use it just like a vacuum. So this is what works for me. All right, next question. This is from Willow Hall. And she says, or he says, I would like to see a video at some point of what your team carries with them to a maintenance clean. I try to keep things as basic as possible, and part of the reason I haven't invested in a steamer is because I'm nervous about getting distracted with a bunch of gadgets and gizmos and carrying around too much stuff. That is an excellent question. All right, so when I go on a job, this is what I take with me. And I say this, meaning these 2 buckets right here. And I will go into training later. In our learning library, I'll break apart all of these and I'll show you all the details. But this is a cleaning caddy for a maintenance clean. This has all of the supplies I need in it for this job. If I have 2 jobs today, I will have 2 separate cleaning caddies. And it might be that the homes that I'm cleaning have different surfaces that I need to clean. but I never ever carry any deep cleaning supplies or any special project supplies with me to a regular maintenance clean. So I have just a basic kit of stuff that I use for basic cleaning. On the other side, I have a mop bucket, and we don't use the mop bucket for mops. Remember, we don't use any water. So what I do have in here is I have my steamer, and this is the steamer handle that goes with me. And so I've got these in my hand, and this is what I show up with. So when I go to a customer's house, this is what I'm carrying. I have one bucket in each hand, and then in a couple of my fingers, I'm holding the handle that goes with my steamer. That's it. This particular caddy has all of my cloths in it, and my steamer, the steamer head, and then my Swiffer duster. And while I'm at my car, before I go inside the customer's house, I'm going to take out my apron. This is a supply-made apron. I'll leave links in the show notes to this as well. But it has my glass cloth inside it. It also has my face mask inside it. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on before I go to the customer's house. And before I go to the customer's house, I'm also going to grab my Swiffer duster, and I'm going to put that in my back pocket. I'll tell you a secret for marketing. When you get out of your car and you have your Swiffer in your back pocket, what that tells all the neighbors that are watching you is, oh, that's the house cleaner. If they missed it by seeing your cleaning caddies, when they see the Swiffer duster, they're going to go, oh, that's the house cleaner, right? The next question, you didn't ask it yet, but you will. How do I get the mop heads inside? Okay, I've got 2 grocery bags, and I double bag them. I grab the mop heads that I need, and I put them inside the bag, put this right in here in the corner. So I'm not carrying this bucket inside the customer's house. As I pull them out of one bag, I put them on the steamer head. When I pull them off the steamer head, they go in the other bag. And it's not dripping water or anything because the microfiber absorbs the water. So there's no dripping water that comes from the bags, but I do double bag it, taking it in. When I bring it out of the house, I have only one bag. It's still double bagged, but now it has the dirty mop heads in it. And then those go straight inside the washing machine, and they're already sorted. So these I don't have to sort in my car. They're already sorted because they're already in the bag. When I come back, they go straight in the wash, or they go straight inside the bucket that we then remove the soil from the mop heads. All right, and I think we have time for one more question. This is from Maria Fuentes. She says, I love your cleaning tips. Thank you so much. I'm hooked on watching your channel. I used your tip on using a steamer for wood floors and absolutely worked on my stubborn stains. Thank you. I wanted to ask, is there anything I can use to shine my bamboo floors once in a while? They're not as shiny, but they're not so dull. Okay, so the bamboo floors don't absorb water, so I don't recommend using a mop. I do recommend using a pre-wet system where you're just damp mopping your floors. And with them, to make them shiny, again, I'm going to go back to the sal suds. 1 drop. 1 drop in your pre-wet system is all you need. If you use any more than that, you're going to have a soapy mess on your hands. I don't know why, but this thing is really soapy. 1 drop is all you need. And that will shine your floors like nobody's business. So I totally recommend it for hardwood floors and bamboo floors. And even if you have a different kind of floor, like a pergo floor or even a prefab floor, it will shine it up really nice. And with a damp mop, you won't destroy the floor. You won't harm it in any way. So that would be my recommendation. Alrighty, and that's it for today. So I will see you guys next time here on Ask a House Cleaner. If you have any questions, you can go to askahousecleaner.com. There's a blue button right in the corner. You can ask your question. You can also leave comments in the notes below. I also read those, and I might even answer them here on one of our shows. I know, super cool, right? Until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.